Welcome everyone. Welcome to all of you wonderful, wonderful ladies. Thank you so much for joining us today. And my name is Catherine Farfan-Selim. I am the host for this evening's breast cancer awareness event, part of Dance Fit Hub, which is a Facebook group that I have for women over 55. Of course, tonight is very, very special because it's part of a reflection this month, reflection, education, and empowerment. Because today we come together not only to move and uplift one another, but to shine that light of strength and courage and hope that breast cancer warriors embody every single day. And so tonight, it's my honor to welcome my dear friend whose story has inspired many of us, Melissa Rosas Jimenez. And some of you will actually remember Melissa from our interview from just last year.
I love that.
And it was just a few months after her diagnosis and right almost at the beginning of during her treatment. And let me tell you guys, her grace and positivity during that interview left a lasting impression on everyone in our community. People were talking about it afterwards and they couldn't really, believe the power. It was really a powerful interview. But today we have something even more special to celebrate. Melissa's journey has come full circle, just like her logo a little bit. Um, and she has now been proclaimed to be cancer free. And she's using her voice and her experience to lift others through her incredible organization, the M Star Strong Foundation. So tonight's conversation is about survival, about transformation. That's the part that I love, of course, as a fitness coach, and giving back, which is also what I love about what I do every single day. So it's about recognizing that community, and you're going to hear this from Melissa, community can heal. And that stories, just like Melissa's, and just like those that you heard last year, and those that I'm sure that you've been hearing all month long, remind us that even through pain, purpose can bloom, purpose can rise up, purpose can call you. Right? So if you're watching this and you or someone you love has been touched by breast cancer, please know that this space is for you. It's a place of encouragement, solidarity, and hope. And now get comfortable because we're going to take it deep. We're going to take a nice deep breath and we're going to welcome Melissa with warm virtual applause, as I say, right, as we begin this inspiring conversation. So, Melissa, looking back to last year, when you first shared your diagnosis, what has been the most surprising part of your journey so far?
Huh. The most surprising part was discovering how strong I am. You never know how you're going to handle a situation like this, let alone cancer, until it hits home.
Mhm.
Um, and I also learned that strength doesn't have to be in the physical. For me, it was more so just getting out of bed day to day, making it to my treatments weekly,
Mhm.
um, and choosing to continue fighting and moving forward with a smile, even though I felt broken.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what moments during your treatment and all of that made you question everything? Because I know you and I have had a conversation about that, how on your journey there was a time, a really hard point, right? So how did you, if you can tell us a little bit about that, and
Yeah.
how did you find the strength to keep going even during that hardest time?
And I can go back to the month. It was October of last year
Okay.
where I felt, why me? And I kept asking, like, I'm a good person, I'm a good friend, I'm a giver. Why me? And I kept questioning, why me? Why me? And throughout all this, I gained a lot of faith and I turned towards God just to give me that faith, that strength to move forward. And then my husband called me one day and said, why not you? And I'm like, what? He's like, why not you? God chose you to fight this storm, to get through it and get to the other side so that you're able to help women like you in the future because you can understand what they've gone through. So I feel like I gained, just the strength and wanting to live and wanting to live, for my family, for my children, and be able to help other women because this diagnosis doesn't define you. It doesn't. Um, so I feel like during this, I gained a lot of strength and a lot of faith. But
Mhm.
my number one question at the beginning in October, because everything happened just so fast from July being diagnosed to having port, having treatment started, where I was able to sit and process, like, wow, this is all happening within a month, where I questioned the why. And
Mhm.
we can't question that. So
Right.
that's where I feel where where I was struggling, the moments where I was struggling.
Right. Because, any illness, right? And I'm gonna just generalize it. Let's say cancer, right? Anything like that is considered terminal, right? When that happens, it does not discriminate, right?
Mm-mm.
It's not based on an age. It's not based on where you come from. It's not like that. When it hits, right? And it really does test, right? That I think that's what I'm getting from what you're saying was that it was really a personal test. And so
Absolutely.
you really had to, kind of hit rock bottom, if you will,
Hmm.
on your journey to realize that A, you were not alone, right? That you were part of a community of women that were in similar kind of situations, right? And that you also had people with their hands out ready to pull you out of that
Absolutely.
really dark place, right? But I think it is a personal journey that you almost have to hit that rock bottom to realize and to question yourself as
Hmm.
to where is this journey going to go for me? How am I going to, move forward from that? So fast forward, right? You had what kind of treatments did you have?
So I was diagnosed late June with stage 3, grade B, triple negative, which is the most aggressive cancer in breast cancer.
Hmm.
So my treatment was I had 16 rounds of Taxol. I had 4 rounds of the Red Devil. And I also had 8 rounds of immunotherapy, following with surgery to remove I had a lumpectomy to remove lymph nodes as well, where they felt that that tumor would have drained
Okay.
if it had gone anywhere else. And then I also had 30 rounds of radiation because it did spread to a lymph node in my clavicle area where they could not remove.
Hmm.
And then I also had my port removed back in August of this year. So it was a journey. Everybody's journey is different, but this was mine.
Okay. So Now, on this journey, you're making numerous trips to the hospital. The people know you, of course, by first name. You develop some relationships with the nurses and the staff and everyone at the hospital. But there was something that you noticed during all these visits. First of all, you're not the only person in the room, right? There are other people there
We
getting.
share, yeah, we share it with another person. With the
Mhm,
so the suite um is divided for two patients,
mhm,
and then you get to bring in a guest. So I was privileged because I didn't have a village. I had an army of I had an army that was always there surrounding me. So I was always known on Monday. So who's coming with you today? Who's here today? Is so and so here today? Who's coming here? Who's coming today? Is your sister here? No, my sister didn't fly in today. She'll fly in next Monday. Who's here today? But what I noticed throughout this journey was women fighting and going through their journey alone.
mhm,
And that made me so sad because here I am blessed with dozens of people that at any moment were like, I'll go on Monday. I'll go on Monday. No, only a couple people can go because you have to swap out every 30 minutes.
uh-huh.
Yet the person next to me was alone for the entire 6 hours.
Yes. And you had conversations with some of these ladies.
Absolutely. I've had conversations with, I think, no, I didn't, not with half. I think with everyone I had conversations because I speak to everyone. I would feel out the room first, and my Ernesto went to, he missed just one appointment because he had to travel due to work, and my aunt and my uncle, came in and took his place. But every time Ernesto and I were in the room, because he would start the visit and then let everyone else swap because he wanted to make sure that the nurses were doing what they were doing, that my numbers were good, my blood count was great before they gave me the green light, and then he was okay. Then anybody can come in and out. He was fine. But we would fill out the room with the patient that was there to see, should I talk to them? Should
Mhm,
I not? Should I? And then seeing how they were, I would just say, hi, how are you? And then we would start a conversation. 99% of the time, we we would always conversate with the person in the room all the time. And we were even asked by the nurse to go to another patient's room to pray for them. And
mhm,
that's happened several times.
mhm.
So everyone knew us, like, oh, is your husband here today? Is your sister here? Is your mom coming? Is this one coming? So like you said, you build friendships, you build bonds because what we have something in common.
Right. Of course. Now, so now this is happening. You're meeting all these women and you're like wondering, well, where is their village? Where are their people? And so at some point on this journey, you make this incredible decision. You're going to do something about this, right? And you're like, you know what? I think I'm going to start a foundation.
Sure did.
So tell
Sure
me about
did.
that. Tell me about that.
So, because I encountered so many women that were fighting alone, not only alone, but some women, oh, I had to be dropped off by my husband, or I had to take an Uber, and then I have a friend coming to meet me. My husband has to go to work. I was fortunate enough that if I even wanted to stay home, I could have, and we would be okay. But some of these women didn't have that luxury. I still worked full time, but some of these women didn't have that. So they had to be dropped off because the husband had to go to work, or they were working while they were there having chemo. So I said, you know what? What can I do to make a difference?
Mhm.
So that's when I came up, brainstorming and speaking with Ernesto and speaking with my sister Samantha. Like, I want to start a foundation, and it's easier said than done until you start this.
Right, and you kind of
So
started little by little. I remember from what I remember in the beginning, it was like, oh, I know so and so is going to be there for her treatment today. Let me take her just a little basket of something. And then you started to do the same for some
Mhm.
other ladies because you were getting all this stuff from Amazon. People were sending you things, and you're like, I
Mhm.
there's so much here. And you started kind of creating your own little care packets. So
Correct.
the
So
foundation steps were happening, even though the foundation hadn't even been established yet.
correct. I received, when I tell you, an abundance of items at my house of just a bunch of care packages, socks, Queasy Pops, just I mean hair wraps. I mean they were coming in at a dozen. Like I would post, like I would have 4 or 5 boxes in front of my door. So I said, what can I do to help these women? I can pay these things forward. So every Monday when I went, I had a baggie of either socks, hair wraps, the cool mittens for when they were some patients doing Taxol treatments that you have to put your hands in ice and feet for 45 minutes. So every Monday I was giving it to the nurse and she would give it anonymously.
Very nice. Okay. And so how has building and growing the foundation impacted your own healing process? Because, I mean, let's face it, cancer is not one of those things that you heal like immediately. You may be physically healing, but I think, well, from what I believe is that the most is the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual part of the healing process that
Hmm.
really is what makes that ending impact. So, how has doing all of this, now that you're doing more, of course, for the foundation, how has that helped in your healing process?
So my love language is giving. So I'm a giver. So with that being said, I'm still in the process. So if I tell you that I'm great, that everything is good because I was declared cancer free, I'd be lying. I'm still battling where I have moments where I sit and just can't believe what I've gone through in a year.
Mhm.
I'm grateful, forever grateful. Um, but I sit back and I still can't I still can't fathom, like, wow, I went through this. So I'm still healing from this, but helping other women that are going through what I've been through and just giving suggestions and giving, just tips of what helped me get through whatever hump they're going through that I've already gone through just makes my day a lot brighter, a
Right.
lot brighter.
That's what I was going to just say right now. You've mentored a lot of women and you've given them support through the foundation. And so what have been some of like the most rewarding experiences or maybe like a moment or two that stand out to you as you help others?
So we've done well. We act for the foundation. We actually it backdated to May 27th because that was the day that I found the lump. So I wanted it to be. I wanted my dates to be sentimental as for me. But we cut the ribbon back in September. But like you said, I was already planting the seed before we officially on paper were a foundation. Rewarding to me was able to help a single mom of three that has metastatic breast cancer that's unable to work, pay her rent.
Okay.
Assisting other women that are financially okay, but emotionally, where I am, we're not, that I'm able to assist and give that helping hand, the ear to listen to, all their fears that I felt a year ago.
Mhm.
um, Giving care packages to women across our country that I don't even know. I've sent out 19 care packages since we've started. And the care packages, they're not the same, but they all have either socks because you're cold during chemo, Queasy Pops because you're nauseous, hand sanitizer, lotion for your hands because your hands become very dry throughout the treatment, chapstick, masks. Some have hair masks, like just different things. So I've been able to give those out to 19 different women. And out of the 19, 17 I didn't know. I don't know. So that's rewarding for me if I can just put a smile on someone's face that's having a rough day with
Yeah.
something like that.
And if I remember correctly, so the box is originally, I believe, something with a school had helped out with that. And
Correct.
can you tell us a
So
little?
I partnered up with Goldenrod Charter School at Renaissance, which is located in Orlando. The principal, Miss Torado, shout out to her. She's absolutely amazing and one of our closest friends. Um, she donated 120 pink boxes filled with hand sanitizer, um, some some chapstick, some crossword puzzles, some mints, and a pen. And then each box had a special note from a student. So they were aware of what they were doing. It wasn't that they were just there packing up the boxes. They knew why they were packing up these boxes. And then I was also blessed when I brought those boxes home that my friends, including Catherine, donated lotions from her Girl Scout squad. I had another friend donate 100 pair of socks. So we added socks, we added lotions. Now with the foundation, I've added other things. I've added little care pack, more, small like tissues that we had personalized. So, it takes a community. Um, and it took a community, and it took my friends and just everyone that believed in me and believed in them Star Strong to be where we're at today.
Now let's talk about support. So, because you're bringing up your family and your friends, how did your relationships with family and friends change during the time of your treatment? And were there any surprises or unexpected sources of love and encouragement?
Yeah. Oh, well, during my diagnosis and during my treatments, you realize who's in your corner.
Mhm.
And you also realize that it's okay to ask for help. I was very stubborn in that department at the beginning, asking for help because I was always the doer here. Like I did everything. I cleaned, I cooked, I planned everything, I decorated, I needed to do everything. I had to have my hands in everything. And in this during this journey, I learned that it was okay to ask and and accept that help. And I remember, like I said, back in October, which was one of my most difficult months, was asking a friend, I need you guys to plan something because I need something. I need something because I'm not in a good space. And my group of girls, including you, put together a girls' night, craft night, because they know I like crafting. Um, and put together a girls' crafting night, and we painted pumpkins, and we laughed, we cried, we decorated pumpkins. And that for me was what I needed to get myself out of that. So, with that being said, just being heard,
Mhm.
and accepting the help was one of the things that I was struggling with. But I had people in my corner that not in a million years I would have thought like, hey, they'll be coming to my house to help me clean,
Mhm.
or they'll be washing my clothes.
Well, yeah, I would imagine that would feel kind of weird. Yes,
But
yes.
that did happen. That did happen.
Yeah.
That did happen. That did happen, and I'm forever grateful um for those people, just my friends, my family, my immediate family, my mom, my sister, my dad, my brother, my husband, my children, my aunt and uncle that moved from Connecticut here. They were big supporters as well. I could just ask and they were already here. And it's surprising, I'm not going to say it was surprising because we're a very tight family, but I had just met them maybe 2.5 years prior to this. So for them to be so warm and so open to always being here and assisting me through the good, the bad, and the ugly, that was great. And I'm forever grateful for that.
Because I would say, just in general, families, like you're saying, the good, the bad, and the ugly, when there is crisis, when there is illness, I mean, you and I have both seen in other families, it just tears them apart. The help that you think you're going to get, not there, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
From immediate family members. So, I'm very happy that in your family, you're right. Everybody is very close knit and they were there for all of it. Good
Mm-hmm.
times, bad
Mm-hmm.
times, ebbs, flows. It was like all the time. So yeah, I really do love that about your family.
Yes. And I did have a couple people, that did, not I'm not gonna say that they didn't care. They pulled away because they just didn't know how to handle the situation.
Exactly.
Because this is hard to understand, and this is hard to try to help. Because what do you tell a person?
Right.
Hi, how are you? Like, how are you? I'm not fine.
Yeah. I'm
You
pretty
know,
crappy right now. Thanks for
I'm
asking.
yeah, I'm fighting for my life. Literally. So, but overall, um, I had an amazing support group, an amazing support group.
Now, for a woman who's maybe newly diagnosed, or maybe she's been on the journey um, either by herself or she's needing some help or just guidance, and she decides to reach out now to your foundation, what can she expect?
For me, she can expect mentoring, like as a mentor, me mentoring her emotionally, guiding her, because like I said, every diagnosis is different. So I can't, what helped worked for me might not work for her, but I know that I can connect her with resources, and let her know that she's never alone. you know she's never going to be alone. And I just guidance, a lot of guidance, and just reassurance that there is light at the end of the tunnel. At the end of the tunnel.
Now that M Star Strong is actually changing lives, right? Not just the life of one, but the life
I
of
know.
many, right? How do you envision the foundation evolving in the next few years? So, what's the
I
dream?
was just talking about this today to someone. I don't even remember who, someone at work. I said, oh, I was talking with Snacky today. I was texting with her. I said, I envision different chapters in different communities,
Mhm.
and she said, and that's what it will be in Jesus' name. And I said, Amen. So, and that's what I see. I see that happening in the future.
Okay, love it. And what advice would you give to women who are newly diagnosed, or maybe they're still, currently going through the things or in the treatment, especially those who might feel scared or uncertain about what's to come?
Um, to ask for help. Just, ask for help. Trust your body. If you feel something, say something. Because a lot of women, me being me knowing it, that in the beginning I felt the lump, I was scared, and Ernesto's like, you need to go and get it checked out. And of course, yes, I'm gonna go get it checked out, but I'm like, I wanted to put it in the back burner. Put it in the back burner. Trust your body. You feel something, you see something, say it. And it's okay to be angry. It's okay to fear the unknown. It's okay to feel sad. I had to learn that throughout this journey,
Mhm.
because who wants to feel sad? Who wants to have fear or not knowing? Because that's how I lived my life the last year, not knowing. You don't know. Is this treatment going to work? When I get a scan, is it going to be cleared? That's going to be my life for the rest of my life. And
Right.
it's okay to be scared. Um, but with faith and my support system, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay.
Love that. Love that. Now, Melissa, as we recognize Breast Cancer Awareness Month and we celebrate the strength of survivors like you, survivors everywhere, what message of hope and courage would you like to leave with everyone tonight?
Like I've mentioned before, and I'll say it again, your diagnosis doesn't define you. You're more than just a diagnosis, you're more than just a scar, the treatments, you're more than just a bald head, which I had to understand that as well, and come to realize that every time I looked in the mirror, because that was something hard for me. Um, and that even though you're fighting this, you're a survivor, you're a warrior, you're a fighter,
Mhm.
because it takes a certain type of woman to go through something like this and make it to the other side, because this is not an easy journey. And if you don't have the faith, you don't have, that fight in you, it's you're just gonna be in a dark space. So, just have that faith and that fighter in you, and you'll get to the other side.
Yeah. And what I really love about, talking about all this, I mean, last week we had menopause awareness and today we have breast cancer awareness. And it's really, I bring this to you all, to everyone that's here and to everyone that will watch the replay of this. Not to, for you to sit there and listen to maybe things that you've heard all month, maybe things that you hear all the time. The point of bringing guests like Melissa on here is to remind you that it shouldn't take a terminal illness like this for you to do the things that you already have inside you. You already have strength. You already have fears, right? We all walk around with fears. Um, but to kind of step up and to find that inner strength and to live each moment as if it were your last, right? I think I remember you saying that from the interview last year. And, we say that in casual, right? When we're with, YOLO, YOLO, everybody's all YOLO, YOLO. But when it comes to real life,
Mm-hmm.
it could be somebody's last day, right? So if you are given opportunities to live in a healthy state, then do your best, do your best to live your life as strong and as best as possible, right? And if you are going through something like this, or maybe you have gone through, this is your second chance, right? So now you have the opportunity to do amazing things like Melissa is doing, right? She found her purpose. What she thought was her purpose was something else, right? It was just a
Mm-hmm.
calling. It called on her and her why. You were asking, why me? Why this? Why that? I agree with your husband. Why not? Why not you? I'm sure you're a religious person. So I know that, you've heard the stories, right, of prophets and saints and asking God, like, why me? I'm just a regular person. But that's who is usually called upon, right?
Mm-hmm.
The smallest person, the most unusual person, the simplest person, right? To gather people for a greater cause. So I really am thankful that you're here with us, of course,
Yes, ma'am.
and that you have shared your heart, your strength, and your story because that's what it is. It's sharing the story and then having others hear the story and maybe change their own story,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because, like it or not, God is thinking you are a light, right? A light for so many women who need to know that they're not alone. So, to everyone that's watching, I really want you to take a moment to reflect on what you've heard here because this is real life. And I happen to know that some of you that are on here right now live are going through it too, or have gone through it too. So this is real. This isn't something that you're watching on TV, on Oprah. It's real women. That, like I said in one of my posts, like take a look around at the eight closest women, the eight women that you're with all the time. 1 in 8. Now
Mm-hmm.
we're up to 1 in 8. I believe last year it was 1 in 5. So I guess it's getting a little better, right? But it's still, even for me in the last year, two, right? So it does, as it gets closer to you, you're like, oh, could it be me? Could I be next? So
Mm-hmm.
whether you face this breast cancer or you supported someone through it or you're simply here to learn, remember that awareness is what saves lives, right? Like
Yes.
she said, if you feel something, say something, whatever it is, it's always better to be safer than sorry later.
Mhm.
Community is what restores that spirit, and hope is what fuels healing. So, if you'd like to connect or get involved and support the work being done by Melissa and her team, you can visit M Star Strong Foundation to see how maybe you can make a difference. And I'll be sharing the link for the foundation in the Facebook group and also via email. With that being said, I'm going to open up the floor. So if you want to unmute and ask a question or make a comment, you can do so now. And if we're in silence, I'm going to say I can see that no one has anything to say.
I have a question.
Yes.
Well, maybe not a question, kind of, sort of. Um, so Simon Med is now offering when you go to have your mammogram this AI report, which costs an extra $50. What are either of your thoughts on if you have no lumps, you have no issues, you don't really have a breast cancer history in your family? What are your thoughts on that extra $50 and getting that information?
Melissa, I'll let you go first.
Um, my life is priceless right now, so
Mhm.
if it's only $50, I would probably spend it. I would. I was even looking into those new sonograms, the 3D water ones for your breast that insurance do not cover because they're not they don't have radiation.
Mhm.
So but your insurance doesn't cover it, but now they're $375 out of pocket. And I was even willing to go and do that just to have that because it's a 3D and it's more in depth into your breast tissue for those women who have dense tissue.
Right. And
Well, I would spend it.
yeah, what I would say is, technology is changing,
Mhm.
it's evolving, and the more technology that there is, it can get kind of loud out there because there's just so many things.
Mhm.
So my first suggestion would be to do a little more research on it to see if there's actual evidence that, what are real women saying? What are they finding? But yeah, I would think that $50 is nominal. So if it's,
Mhm.
something that would make you feel more at ease, I would definitely do it. My grandmother had breast cancer, so I've been getting mammograms since I was like 20, which is not a thing, right? They're still waiting till they're in their 40s.
40s. Yeah,
Yeah.
now they
Mhm.
just lifted to 35.
Yes.
Now it's 35 because of the diagnosis have gone so
So if I were to go to
young.
the doctor and they tell me, okay, you've already had a mammogram and an ultrasound, everything looks good, but we have this thing that you could do for 50, I would probably do it.
Mhm.
My daughter was looking into getting the scan where you can see if you have the gene and all of that. So
Yeah.
why not? You know?
Genetics, yeah. Now
Thank you.
they also have this new study because I was reading up on it. Um, it's a trial. They take your bone marrow from your bone marrow and they test that to see if you have any sleeping cells
Mhm.
for women that have um survived breast cancer to see if they will have a reoccurrence to see if there's
Wow.
any but you have to qualify for the trial, so I'm looking into that.
Yeah, because I mean, the thing like for us in my family doesn't mean that it's for everybody, but my grandmother was diagnosed when she was 60, right? And I don't remember the exact diagnosis, but she did survive that, but that is not what she passed away from. So
Mhm.
she passed away from pancreatic cancer years later when she was 84. So, it really has to do with your overall health, right? And that's why I'm agreeing with Melissa that the whole sleeping cells thing, that makes sense because, it's all based on the way you've been living, not how you're living today. It's all how what you've been doing for the last 20, 30, 40 years of your life.
Mhm.
So it's basically on your overall health because, like I said, cancer does not discriminate. So
Mm-mm.
sometimes, honestly, and you know that I am just very true with what I say, cancer will be like, "Oh, I didn't get you here. Well, let's go somewhere else and see how you're doing somewhere else, you know?" So anything that you can do to quote unquote stay healthy and just keep an eye on your body, especially as you're aging, do it.
Amen. Yeah, I agree.
Anybody else?
Want to thank Melissa for doing her foundation because I know in my cancer support group, a lot of women need extra support, especially those that don't have it in their inner circle. And
Yes.
here where I am in Crossville, Tennessee, we have a great cancer support group led by a nurse navigator, and we've got some excellent doctors here. But one thing that I have found that is crazy, even my men friends who have prostate cancer have found this. When you have cancer and share your diagnosis, you lose some friends.
Mhm.
Those friends don't know how to deal with it,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
they'll just check in on about you from other people, and that is crazy. And I don't know how to remedy that, but those new people that come into my cancer support group, because I've been stage 4 for 4 years now, and
congrats.
yeah, metastatic breast cancer, and but I've been, NED for 2 years, so my life really hasn't changed much. But those new people that come in, and then they talk about their friends and things. It's like, oh yeah, that's a thing. We have to tell people that's a thing. You do lose friends, but you know what? You gain other people like Melissa, and through her foundation, people who understand and people who care. So there are other people out there, but the initial shock of that was something that I wasn't prepared for. I'm good with it now.
Yeah. Well, if you do encounter those people again, we should connect so that way you can give them my information, even if I'm in another state. There's mail, there's email, there's FaceTime. Give them my information. And like I said, I have a good support group as well.
Yeah, I went online and I saw your foundation page, so I will send that to my
Yes.
my group. But yeah, it's just a really weird world, the cancer
It is.
world. There's
Yeah.
so many
I know.
good research and testing and things coming up, but then there's that social aspect where you just don't know sometimes.
Some people are quiet about it and don't want to talk about it. I'm the opposite. I'm very open. Maybe my story will help someone, or maybe my story will offend someone. I don't
Yeah.
know.
You
We'll
know, I
find out.
went to the oncologist today, and I go every 3 months, but I go every month for my shots. And every month when I go for my shots, I'm fine. I don't even think about cancer on a day-to-day basis. But every 3 months when I go in for my review, I am a basket case.
That's
The
me.
anxiety of just being there, and there's nothing new. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm still fine. My numbers are good and everything, and it's just the anxiety. So it's just a different world when you're
Yeah,
in the.
it is. Yeah. Yeah. I'm good now. I'm good. But don't tell me I have a scan coming up because I am sick to my stomach up until I get results.
Yeah, yeah.
The day they give me the appointment to the day of results, I am sick. And then, with my chart, everything goes up on my charts first. So the results come up before you see a doctor. So
Oh,
yeah.
I don't look. I
I
figure I
do.
pay.
I do. Well, I don't. At first, I sent my sister. I'm like, can you go? It says I have some new results. Can you check for me? She's like, sure. And then if I don't hear from her, I'm just pacing. And then she's like, everything is great. My last scan, which said there was no new evidence, and that everything was great. She was the one that had told me about it because I was like, can you check for me, please? But yeah, I have that feeling as well. Now I'm okay. I'm fine now up until December when I have a mammogram to have. So.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Mm.
This is my new norm.
Thanks for that, Carrie. Anybody else want to say something? Now's the time. We're all here.
Well, just, I want everybody to know that there are people out there who will help you. There are. But you do have to ask for it.
Asking her. Mm-hmm.
You're not going to intrude upon your privacy, so you do have to ask.
Yes.
Yeah,
Is
agreed.
Raquel, did you want to say something?
Yes, yes. Sorry, I was trying to unmute and all of that. Melissa, so nice to meet you. Um,
Likewise.
I am I am thrilled about your foundation. I am thrilled that you have taken the step to do something that will help other women in this situation. I am a breast cancer survivor, and my diagnosis came at the age of 26. So it's been now 31 years.
Oh.
Um, yeah. So, and it's a little bit different when you're really young versus kind of the age that I am now. Um, but I think that you know, we meet so many people along our journey, right? The people that we meet when we're diagnosed, the people that we meet during our treatment, the people that we meet beyond that. And I can, as you were talking, I was thinking about all of those examples in my life, the folks that really bonded and supported at the time that at that age, was trying to figure all of this out. And and all the people that I've met since. And I'd like to think that I have been able to, in certain instances, be able to, you know, share my story, help someone who maybe is on the fence about what to do or whether they should get checked or whether they should not. And being helpful to say, we have to go now. You have to know that your best chances are early detection. There's no other way around it. And sometimes we think we know why we get it, and sometimes we don't. Nobody knows why I got it at 26 years old. Nobody knows. Every doctor that I've met has some kind of a hypothesis, and none of it is really, anything they can prove. So who knows? And it doesn't matter. So like when you said, why me? And your husband said, why not you? I remember saying that initially, and then I realized, no, I'm not going to question it. I just need to move forward and trust that everything is going to be okay. And I've just got to, I've got to do what I need to do. So thank you for all that you do. And it's lovely to see that you're doing well, and grateful that you are doing everything you need to do to stay well, to help other women, and really, hopefully, one day we can live in a world without breast cancer.
Yeah, that's our goal.
Love that.
Thank you.
Yeah. I especially love what I love to hear is always the stories, the good and the bad, because you all that know me, I'm all about like strength, right? But not only the physical strength, but just that mental strength. And my takeaway from all of this, like I said, is the resilience part, right? That no matter how low, no matter how bad life kicks you down, 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 right? As women, it's been said here a few times, we are so bad at asking for help. We
Mhm.
always want to give, 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 give. It's like, but when we are down, it's almost like what's the word? It's almost like not a shame, but you're just like, I'm not gonna do it because I'm gonna do it myself. Like you're just so stubborn. You
Mhm.
know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And you get to that point where you're just like, fine,
That was
help
me.
me. You know what I mean? Like, fine. And then like the clouds go away and everything. And you're like, why was I being so stubborn? Like I should have known that.
Yeah.
This could have
I
happened.
was trying to clean up a cabinet of Tupperware. I had my sister-in-law and my niece here one day, and they were like, I got it. I'm like, I have it. I got this. I didn't have the energy to even pick up Tupperware. That I started to cry. And my niece is like, what is wrong? And I'm like, I can't even carry this. She's like, just go sit down. Go sit down. We got this. We got it. And I was like, okay. She's like, it's okay for us to do it. It's okay.
Right.
Now I'm like, anybody want to come clean my house? Anybody want to come wash my clothes? My aunt will go, I'll go do it. Don't worry. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Anybody else want to say something before we wrap this up? I know we have a few family members here.
Mm.
So,
I just want to say thank you once again for allowing me to share my story and the victory, of getting to the other side. Um, so I just, like I said, just want to say thank you, and I also want to mention to you ladies that are on here, if you know someone, or if have gone through it, it's okay, because this is our life. This is going to be our life for the rest of our lives. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Reach out to me. I'm always open to chat, to FaceTime. If you live in another state, go out for coffee or, a drink. But, I'm here. I'm here for anyone that needs it. If you want to, uh, send my information to anyone, I have a good team. You know, I'm the face of M Star Strong foundation, but my team behind me is strong, that I see us making a big difference, a very big difference.
and what I would say is for those of you that have gone through it, are going through it, definitely reach out to Melissa because I know she's has some upcoming events in the new year. And it's always nice, like she's saying she's the face of the foundation, but it's always nice to have guest speakers,
Mhm.
especially from survivors, because sometimes, we sit there in the audience and we're like, that girl doesn't look like me, or that lady doesn't look like me.
Mhm.
Then you see the face of someone, you're like, wait a minute, she's how old? Wait, that
Yeah,
could be,
I get that all the time. It's like, you went through that. You don't even look like you went through that.
exactly,
Oh, hold on one second. Let me show you pictures.
exactly. And I know Carrie and I know Raquel, so I know like for them, they can be the face for
Absolutely.
fivers, you know what I mean? For women, they'll be like, no, I am in the golden age. This does not touch me, and be like, listen, sister in the audience, this could be you too. So
It
pay.
does not discriminate.
That's right. That's right. So I hope
It,
that you all enjoyed this evening's talk with Melissa. Again, it was a story of resilience and, of course, the stories of those that shared their own stories, right? And just to keep joining us at the Dance Fit Hub. The Dance Fit Hub is a space for women over 55 who are on different journeys. It could be fitness, it could be nutrition, it could be even this, right? But we are always trying to continue to move for our health and connect with our hearts like we did this evening and to stand strong together because when we are together, we
we are M Star
that's
Strong.
right. So thank you all for being here and have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.